Hello everyone. As a person who is rather short, there are some things that are annoying but also quite handy. For example, I would say that it's very good to be short if you wish to avoid things like back pain and most other things that come with it, as you don't have so much weight on your joints. Although my brain never got that message. It's also easier to reach the lower shelves and hide in very small spaces. Sometimes it's good to be dinky. However, one of the annoyances of being short is that you can't reach something. And then, if you're shy like me, you have to ask for help. I could just find one of the ladders and use it myself, but A, I'm terrified of heights, and B, it still makes me too short, so it's better to find a tall person. Then, just as I'm debating how I'm going to get there, some big 6-foot dude will walk up, for which I'm extremely grateful, and go, "You're right, love, do you want something?" By the way, I don't mind if anyone wants to help. Sometimes, however, it is very annoying to not be able to suddenly jump up to the top shelf, grab your fizzy waters or whatever you want, and leave. No complaints. I love getting helped. It can be very embarrassing when they can't hear you, though. We can't really complain much about being short. At least most people don't have to worry about things like back issues due to being too tall. For me, one of the really annoying things about being short is that I also have a quiet voice. So when I have to talk to someone who is very tall, they literally have to bend over to hear me. They will try to make it discreet, but there will come a point when it becomes obvious that someone has to bend over to listen to you. Also, for me, because I have misophonia, a video that I've done, raising my voice is very uncomfortable. If you want to see that, then I'll leave a link in the description. Anyway, this tall David Tennant looking dude walks up to me, ready to help, and you know he just wants to help. But you know it's difficult because the huge 12 inches between us make it hard for me to explain to him what I need, because I'm so small and so quiet that he can't hear me. I'm nowhere near his ear, so it's not like he can hear me unless he bends over, which we already discussed how uncomfortable that is. This video is going to have to go through Audacity just so that you can hear me, because my voice is too quiet, and this is on my phone. Now, imagine talking to me in real life, and your head, shoulders, and probably elbows taller than me. The embarrassment of it all is that everyone in my family is taller than me. One thing I will say is one thing that I admired about Sylvie, because even though she was very small, she was only about 18 inches in length, she literally would express herself. You could not miss her. If she was sitting there quietly, you could. But if she wanted to be heard, if she had to stand on the radiator, stand on my legs, stand somewhere else, she would make herself heard. No, she didn't have the ability to stop movement, but she did have the ability to yell at you and be like, "Excuse me, you're going to pay attention." Another annoyance is when people don't take you seriously because you need to sign for things. For example, every time I need to open the door and sign for something, for shopping or for something like that, I was asked to speak to my mum. It's a compliment, and I do find it funny that I look young enough, but it's also annoying when you're trying to be serious. It means I could never buy alcohol because they think I look too young. I could never get important things because they think I look too young. That is annoying. This is one side of the story. There is another side of the story which I think is very important to talk about. It's not something that I have personal experience with, being that I'm a lady, but men have their own problems with being short. Let's have a look. First, some women these days seem to complain that they only like 6-foot dudes. Really? That's like trying to look for a unicorn. Tall men are not the norm, especially not that big. But that's not the problem. The problem is when you then put down a man for being under 6 foot, including 5'11". Listen, if you're not interested in him, I wouldn't be shallow because of his height. Just move on. Some men, even by other men, are not taken seriously at all, especially if they're with a tall woman. I personally think that it's absolutely rude because it doesn't matter who you're dating if you're happy. It shouldn't matter how tall your partner is. But some men will walk around with a tall girl, and I know that men will make fun of him, let alone a girl, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. If he likes you and he's nice, it shouldn't matter about his height. Then why are you making fun of him? His height does not determine if he's a nice person. His height does not determine if he's rich. His height does not determine if he could save you from a burning building. In fact, if you have a short husband, it's most likely that he could probably duck under here, there and everywhere in order to actually save you. A tall man probably wouldn't be able to. Now, I have nothing against tall men, and I have nothing against short men. Men are men, and they should be allowed to be comfortable with whoever they are. I had to mention the men's side of things before I left, because I may be a girl, but I have seen people not have respect for men because they don't want to date men because they're short, and I don't think that's fair, because a man's height does not determine who he is. In fact, all the tall men are going to start to get cocky because what's going to happen is they are in high demand. So you know it's going to be easy for them to find a date, even if they're not a nice person. From where I'm standing, every man is tall, so as long as they're nice and treat you with respect, it shouldn't matter. On a final note, children aren't taken seriously unless they're tall. People don't take them serious because they're a child unless they're a very tall, grown-up looking child. I was a very tall child, so people took my word quite seriously. However, I know that there are people who are shorter than me who had a good point to make, but because they were kids, no one wanted to hear it. Right. I believe that's everything I can say on the matter. If you listened, then you're handsome, and you're beautiful, and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.
Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know what your favourite country is.